My family was absolutely terrified. Like my family friends and my cousins and aunts and uncles, they were like, you're gonna get kidnapped in India. Don't even go. Like, it's so dangerous. Hello my little apples and welcome back to another video, or if you are new here, hi, my name is Amanda and today we're going to be talking about my trip to Rishikesh, India for my yoga teacher training. I've been getting a lot of questions about this and I know that this video has been highly anticipated. I hope you guys are ready to hear me talk about a lot of different things and just learn a bit more about my India journey. This video is going to just cover the technical side of things, so more objective, not really like personal questions. This one's more informative for those of you who want to know more about it and not necessarily like my thoughts and how I grew and stuff like that. Like that's gonna come in another video, don't worry, I can talk about that. I wrote notes. I wrote down points that I want to go over, the cost of attendance and transportation, the requirements that were needed to actually do the yoga teacher training. We're gonna go over travel, what it was like, safety, and the environment of Rishikesh, India. Now this is going to be specific to the school that I went to and the city that I went to. And then we're also going to go over the food, lodge, and the education and training last, so like the stuff that I learned and the content of it. So let's dive into that right now. I went to a school called the Rishikesh Vinyasa Yoga School and it's located in, obviously, Rishikesh, India. And the reason why I went there is actually because one of my friends went there a year prior. Mary from Mantras and Mangoes, if you guys aren't following her already on Instagram and YouTube, you definitely should. She is a very passionate, beautiful woman. Like I've been following her since I've been vegan and she always inspires me. I noticed that when she went to the yoga school, like when she came back such a different person. She was absolutely transformed in the best way possible and I wanted to experience something that as well. So I looked up her yoga school where she went and she did a couple like posts about it on her Instagram and she did like upload a video of the actual school on there. I also have some videos on my experience, a day in the life of the yoga school, like what my schedule was like, and then some what I eat in a day video, and I'll leave the link to the playlist in the description below if you guys haven't seen it. In Rishikesh there are so many different types of yoga schools, so it's important to look at the different ones or what they can offer for you in particular, like what you're looking for. The teacher training specifically to the school that I went to was more Ashtanga Vinyasa flow, and so that really fit for me because I love Vinyasa already and I really like Ashtanga. I actually didn't know that much about Ashtanga before I went. I've only done the primary series once, but when I learned it completely at the school, I fell in love. It's one of my favorite practices now. I chose this school because one of my friends had already gone there. She had nothing but good things to say, so I looked it up and it seemed very affordable compared to other yoga schools. And when I broke it down, so for my 200-hour training, it costs $1550 USD, and that includes 28 days of stay, like your own bathroom, your own bedroom, 3 vegetarian meals, and tuition. And I broke it down into each day and that cost $55 a night. I got to experience this educational thing as well as like mind, body, spirit type of stuff and good food, and in a foreign country, like that's such a good deal to me, because if you go vacation, definitely you would spend at least $100 a night at a hotel, but this includes so much more, so it was like a 2-in-1 for me. So that was the price for me to actually be there. And then the price for my transportation, it would really vary for you, but my plane ticket round trip, I'm coming from California in the United States, so it cost me around $1,200. Now I already looked at prices for next year because I plan on going there again. Obviously I had a good time, and I already booked tickets for about $700 round trip. So if you book early enough, then you could get a much cheaper price for your flight, but mine just costs a lot because I decided to book my plane ticket like 2 or 3 months before. I guess I might as well talk about like transportation now. So in order to get there, I went from like my international airport to the Delhi International Airport, and you have an option to take a cab from Delhi to Rishikesh, but that's about 8 hours. But what I had decided to do, actually what my parents so much smarter than me, decided to do was book another plane to the local airport because the plane ticket's cheaper and it takes only like an hour and a half to fly over there. And then I just took a 20-minute, 30-minute taxi to the school, which costed another $30, but that was a lot cheaper, I'd say. And I would honestly spend more money to travel like faster, because 8 hours in a car versus an hour and a half in a plane and like 30 minutes to go to the school and taxi, like I would take that over 8 hours in a car. If you're going to any other yoga school, I would recommend just asking them about transportation and how it's arranged over there, and just really do your research and look ahead of time. I ended up bringing with me about $300 in cash. Some of my other friends brought more, and you could also draw money from your bank account from an ATM over there. I spent most of it, but some of it I didn't spend. Over there, things are so cheap, and so I just ended up converting it back into US dollars before I left. The souvenirs that I got from my family were just postcards, and I sent them out from India. So if you're planning on buying a lot more souvenirs for your family, plan on bringing some more cash. But I spent less than $300 there, and that was like going out to eat on our fun excursion days, just buying stuff from the organic store, because we did end up going to the organic store a lot to buy some goodies like chia seeds and goji berries and trail mix, just stuff that they wouldn't provide at the school. And I also spent it on fun things like when my friends and I went to go to the mountains, we rented out motorbikes, and when I got this tattoo over there, you know, I paid for it outside of the tuition. For everything that I did, I think it was very, very affordable in India. You might want to think about bringing $300 to $500 extra, and again, if you need more, you can always pull from your bank account in an ATM. Just make sure you call your credit card ahead of time and let them know that you are going to travel to India, so that if they think that some suspicious activity is happening, it's just you and it's not somebody who stole your card and went all the way across the country. So now we're going to go into requirements. What level of yoga do you have to have mastered in order to do a yoga teacher training? The 200-hour course is an introductory course. The only thing that you actually need is the want to learn about yoga and the ability to learn, and also be humble when you don't know something. But other than that, you don't need to be an expert in yoga at all. You don't have to have any prior training, any certificates or anything. There were some complete beginners in the yoga school that I went to, and it was totally fine, and they caught on just fine. The teachers over there are so understanding, and they're so very patient, and they know that yoga can either be coming from an expert point of view or a beginner point of view, but they also know that yoga is for everybody. So if you're new but you want to learn more about yoga, definitely I would highly recommend this trip to anybody who's willing to and open to becoming a better person and establishing a good relationship with themselves. My goal isn't even to teach yoga. I just really wanted to learn more about yoga. So if you're a curious type but you don't really plan on teaching anything, but you want to go vacation but also learn about a beautiful practice, then yoga school is definitely for you. Somebody also wanted to know about specific personal qualities, and I mentioned this before, but basically just be an open person, be willing to learn, be willing to be humbled, and be patient with yourself, because there could be some poses that you can't do, or maybe there's something that you just can't get right now, but it's important to be patient. That is a really big lesson that I personally had to learn, or that I had to just reinforce within myself, and also just to be accepting of where you are at this very moment and not to compare yourself with other people. Go in there with an open mind and be willing to learn. Now for safety. A lot of people want to know if it's safe for young women or young gentlemen, or maybe old women or old gentlemen, to go to India for yoga teacher training. It is so safe. My family was absolutely terrified. Like my family friends and my cousins and aunts and uncles, they were like, you're gonna get kidnapped in India. Don't even go. Like, it's so dangerous. I've met other people and talked to other people on social media who have gone to yoga teacher training in India and had the time of their lives. And I looked at the school, it's reputable. They have accounts of, you know, like their past classes. I knew in my heart that it was safe, but my family was very, very cautious. And my dad actually flew with me and stayed with me in the school for the first couple days, just to make sure that I got there safe and to make sure that they really were who they said that they were, that the surroundings were safe for his daughter, and I'm the youngest of 4 children, and I'm the baby of 4 children, so he wanted to make sure that everything was safe for me to be there for a month. And it was. Like, he went on his run in the morning because he goes running every day. He went on his run by himself while we were doing our little yoga class, and he came back and he was like, oh my gosh, everything is so safe here. The people are so nice. There's cows walking by. People are very cautious. Rishikesh is the Vatican or the Mecca of Hinduism. Like, people make pilgrimages over there because it is considered a holy city of Hinduism. So people here are really, really peaceful. Yes, it is not your typical first world country. You know, there's not beautiful paved sidewalks and beautiful roads. There's still construction going on. It might be a culture shock to some of you, but at the end of the day, it is safe. I was very well taken care of. I was also never alone. I always went out to the city with my friends. When I went to the store, we just like always went together just because it was a nice experience to be with other people. The school itself is safe. The people who run the school are very responsible and they look out for you. And so if you're a young person and your parents are very concerned about going, I would just show them my videos and just let them know that like it's totally safe. And if you guys want, feel free to email me and I'll answer any more questions that you want to know about safety, but don't worry. I feel like I've said it's safe so many times, but I just want to get it across because it's scary, you know? It's scary to come from a very sheltered, very like easy, cozy first world place. Coming from like this life that I have, I know it can be scary for some people to think like, oh, she's going to India by herself for a whole entire month. But I really believe that it's important for people to travel and see the world and see what other lives are like that aren't this like really nice, safe, convenient, clean environment, because it really opened up my eyes and it helped me to just gain some more perspective on life and what life is like for other people. Otherwise, I would just be stuck in this little bubble and like less tolerant than I am now. Not to say that I wasn't tolerant before, but I feel like travel really, really makes a person and it helps them grow and mature in more ways than just learning how to use public transportation by yourself. I got a lot of questions about like wearing conservative clothes and what the dress code was like in the city, in the area. My parents were also very cautious. I was wearing tank tops and they're like, you can't wear that there. Like, they're very conservative place. But then when my friends and I were going out the first couple days, we asked the school, is what we're wearing okay? Like, is it okay to wear tank tops? And they looked at us like, why are you asking us this question? Like, of course you can wear that, it's totally fine. Some traditional wear that some of the Indian women's wear over there is like midriffs. They definitely do show skin. I mean, obviously you don't want to walk around in a bikini, but wearing a tank top and leggings is totally fine. And it's normal because there are so many other yoga schools. There's so many international people over there as well. So specifically for Rishikesh, me just wearing a tank top and yoga pants was acceptable. Somebody did comment or message about men looking at you weird or like looking at you different or spitting on you or yelling at you. I personally have never encountered that. You don't have to cover up your entire body, but be wary of what you're wearing. Be modest, you know. It's like you're going out to school or you're going to like run some errands at a grocery store. You don't want to just walk around in like a sports bra and shorts, you know? I didn't stress out or worry about it too much. Someone wanted to know if the air was polluted. Even though I was walking around on the streets, it definitely did smell like gas because that's what streets smell like. In the mountains, the air is so clean, and because I was there during monsoon, like rainy season, the air would always clear up because the rain would clear it up. But coming back to LA, I noticed way more smog and way more pollution than I ever saw in India. I woke up to mountains and greenery and clear skies and rain and just such natural clean smells, and the environment was so nice, and I didn't really experience that much pollution. And then I came back here and I was like, oh my gosh, look at all of this smog all around. Now for food. First of all, water. The water that we had, the water that I mostly drank was from the school. They had a filtered water station there. So that's where I filled up my bottle most of the time. The only time that I ever filled up my water bottle outside of the school is when I went out and I just bought a big bottle of water and just filled it into my own water bottle. The school, they had filtered water, and obviously they're going to be wary of international guts, because you know how like when you go to an international country, sometimes the water's not clean, so you end up getting sick. I did not get sick the whole entire time I was in India. I just never had a problem with drinking the filtered water that they had. When I went to restaurants, if I was thirsty, I either drank this, or if I didn't have any more water, then I just bought a bottle of water. It's really important to stay hydrated over there because it's really, really hot. You sweat a lot, you do a lot of yoga, so. Food-wise, what I brought with me was protein powder, which was very, very helpful in keeping me satiated when I was hungry, like before the next meal. Protein is the most satisfying macronutrient, but I also brought some like just vitamins that I usually take so I wouldn't have to buy them over in India, and I also brought some protein bars from Go Macro that I ended up demolishing within the first week. But other than that, I was able to buy everything that I needed at the organic store, which is down the road from the yoga school. They had chia seeds, they had hemp seeds, they had like a bunch of different dried fruits, trail mixes, just everything that you could possibly want from home. They probably had at the organic store and more. Like, I bought so much chocolate when I was over there. I didn't even need it, but it was over there and it was so good. So
3 words for you: treat yourself.
it was nice to not have to pack so much and like stress out so much about what I needed. The next time that I go, I'm gonna make sure I travel a little bit lighter because everything that I need I can get over there. Like, I didn't even bother bringing like laundry detergent because you could buy some over there. I didn't bring shampoo. I just bought a small bottle of shampoo that I used over there, and that bottle cost me less than $1 US. And it was made with natural ingredients and it lasted me the whole entire time I was there. I even bought apple cider vinegar over there. I do really highly recommend bringing protein powder with you if you work out regularly. The food that they serve over there is kind of low protein. It's on the carby side, so having some kind of protein is definitely good to hold you over if you're used to eating more protein. But if you're good on carb loading all the time, then that's your thing. As for vegan options, it was so easy to find vegan options, and going to restaurants over there was really easy in terms of eating vegan. Every single restaurant that I went to was very vegan friendly. They had vegan items. They knew what vegan was just because it's a whole vegetarian city. And I actually showed you guys in my what I eat in a day videos like some of the food that I had. But even if you go to restaurants, it was easy to be like, is there milk in here? Is there ghee? Is there cream? It wasn't that hard to be vegan in Rishikesh at all. There were fruit carts everywhere, every single corner that I went. The mangoes were incredible. My friends all bought like mangoes, bananas. They bought lychees. There were lychees on the stand, and there were papayas over there, so fruit was very easy to find. I loved going over to cafes and getting cappuccinos, as you guys can see. They have soy milk, coconut milk, sometimes almond milk at the cafes. I just loved going to cafes. Now for the actual lodge, or like where I slept in. The school that I stayed at, this is specifically because I don't know about the other schools, but this one I had my own room and I had my own shower, and it was really nice to have my own room and like not have to share with anybody, because after a long day I just want to go to sleep, or sometimes during the breaks I just wanted to like lay down. They do offer a really big bed. The room itself is really clean. It was ashram style. We swept our own rooms. There was no room service. Anything that we needed to clean our rooms, or if we had a problem with our bathroom, we just let the people, like the maintenance people, know, and they would help us as much as possible. Everything was clean. They gave us clean sheets, clean blankets. The streets themselves are not the cleanest. There's cows walking around, so there's cow poop everywhere. Trash on the floor, like when you're walking around the streets, but that's just what's to be expected when you go to India. Now to go into education and training. There are loads of schools in Rishikesh. How did you pick this school? Honestly, it was because one of my friends had gone and she had nothing but good things to say about it. And also, this school was a lot more cost efficient than some other schools, and they offered the same thing, and this school had really good reviews. What are the pros and cons of this school? So the pro is that it is very affordable. The teachers, they're kind, patient, funny. I especially loved that the whole school was like family. So there's the owner of the school, he and his wife are there, his friends that he grew up with and went to college with and like learned yoga with also work there as the teachers, friends who are the chefs, the cooks, the maintenance maintenance people, and then like their siblings are there, so it's so fun. Sometimes at night they'll just all dance and have a good time. It's because they're just one big family, and I love that they extend it to every single student out there, and they just make you feel like you're part of this family. And I never once felt like I shouldn't be there, or that they didn't want me there, or that they were just taking me for my money. The education that I learned was beyond what I could have learned or looked for over here. I feel like over there they're focused on the spiritual aspect of yoga, so we did a lot of chanting mantras. We learned a lot about yoga philosophy. I got the question like, are you Christian? Does it matter what your religion is? It really doesn't matter, because they're not trying to convert you to another religion. They just like are teaching you about the roots of yoga, and Rishikesh is technically the birthplace of yoga, so learning the history also means learning about Hinduism. It's a very peaceful religion, and I loved learning about it. And I feel like that's something that I couldn't learn as well or like in depth as if I had learned here from people who don't practice the same thing, if that makes any sense. The main Ashtanga teacher is actually a gold medalist. Like, he's an expert, like an actual expert in Ashtanga yoga. The only con that I have with this school is, okay, actually I have two. One of them is that there's construction going on in the buildings around the school, so the school has nothing to do with the construction. They're just in the same area. It got loud sometimes. Sometimes the power would go out or the Wi-Fi would go out, but that's because it's monsoon season, and it's obviously not going to be a first world country where all the wiring is perfect. So when there's rain, when there's crazy weather, some electric items are going to go out, but it always ended up coming back, and there were always backup generators. The fan would still keep going, and so would the light. One more con is just the freaking mosquito bites in India. I got eaten up so hard. So what I suggest you do, what really helped me, is a repellent spray over there that I bought. It's not off. It's some natural repellent spray that had aloe vera and citronella, and that really helped. Peppermint essential oil was so essential. It just helped soothe my itches so much. Like, I had a bottle of peppermint essential oil on me at all times because I just get bit by bugs a lot in general. Those are the only cons that I personally experienced. I'm not that picky of a person, nor am I extremely high maintenance, so you might experience something different. Were there people of all ages in your teacher training program? Yes, there were. There were people as young as 21, and there were people as old as 40 years old. I think the age requirement is between 17 and 65 years old, so it's never too late unless you're 66. Would you say you liked getting your training done all at once in a retreat style, or was it emotionally draining, and would you have preferred doing it over a course of few months? Even though it was very physically and emotionally draining, I find that those kind of things, the things that kind of slap you in the face, are the ones that are the most effective and the ones that are going to be the most memorable. If I got it over a course of a few months, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to learn as much, nor would I have been able to apply it to my life so hard. And I felt like for every single person that went there, because it was so emotionally impacting throughout that whole month, it was such a pivotal, transformative experience for them. I got to travel, so it was like a vacation as well as yoga teacher training, which I like. I mean, I always try to get the most for my money and like the value anyway. Why is my nose so itchy right now? We went over Ashtanga yoga and Vinyasa yoga. Like I said before, there are a bunch of different schools that go over different types of yoga, such as Hatha yoga, Iyengar yoga, Kundalini yoga, other types of yoga and meditation as well. But the focus of Vinyasa, the Rishikesh Vinyasa Yoga School, was obviously Vinyasa and Ashtanga. Did most of the other students know each other already, or did you guys become friends through the experience? There were some people who booked the trip together, so they wanted to experience it like with each other, like as friends. Most of us just booked it and we became friends over a course of a month. I mean, if you're spending the whole entire day with the same people every single day for 28 days, then you're bound to become friends. So I went there, I didn't know anybody, but I feel like I have made lifelong friends from that experience. Did you have a written exam? I did have a written exam for yoga philosophy, and it wasn't hard. Also, I don't think that they're going to fail you and say like at the very end of the yoga teacher training that you're not allowed to be a yoga teacher. I think they just want to make sure that you know and you've like listened and you've read up on the stuff that they're teaching in classes. Was it very physically demanding? Yes, it was physically demanding. You would think that, oh, you know, it's just yoga, I'm not gonna work out that much, but girl, yoga 2 times a day plus body alignment class, that is some work, especially in India where you walk around everywhere. So we did a lot of walking and we did a lot of yoga, and the yoga, because it was vinyasa ashtanga, it was a lot of power poses and like holding in place and a lot of muscle like use. I found myself getting a lot stronger in body weight type of things, which has helped my like yoga practice. And so it was physically demanding. Like we were always so tired at the end of the night. My friends and I definitely took naps during the day because our bodies were just like, I need some rest. Also, it was really hot, so that added on to it. If you're worried about like exercise and, you know, being active while you're in India, even though it's just yoga, like trust me, you will get some work in. And then the last question for this video is there enough time for self-practice? And yes, there is enough time for self-practice, although I personally only did self-practice like once, and that was the one day that we didn't have yoga. Every single day we have yoga class for an hour and a half in the morning, and then we have the Ashtanga flow for an hour and a half in the evening. I really didn't feel the need to do another practice for myself. This concludes the very long, lengthy video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that it was thorough enough for you to get a good idea of what my experience was like. I will be doing another addition to this video, so make sure you stay tuned, and that video will be about more personal questions like my own personal development, my growth, my opinions. If you want to know about that, again, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so you know when I post, and make sure you're following me on Instagram so you also know what's going on in my life, and also it'd be really cool because I'm there. Okay, I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning, noon, day, or night wherever you are. I'll see you next time. Bye.